Hello everyone, we're here in Wichita Falls, Texas this morning. We're at Spudder Park, where Elvis played here in Wichita Falls August 22nd, 1955. This was a baseball park back then, the Texas Baseball League. This booking was by Bill Mack, who had fame as a disc jockey later. He had a band back then. He opened for Elvis here. We don't know exactly where in the park Elvis played. There was a grandstand here for seating back then, and all that's gone. They do have a baseball park still here, though, the field and all. Johnny Harton also played here. It was Elvis the Blue Moon Boys, of course, back then. I don't believe that DJ was with him yet. I'm not real sure, but on here it says low admission price. It said advanced tickets for adults 25 cents and children 25 cents. So that sounds impossible, but that's what's on the picture here. It said there was 2,000 people here. Elvis drove his pink Cadillac right up to the stage and onto the flatbed trailer they had set up for them to play on. So you just have to imagine, like we're doing right now, where that could have been. But we really don't have a clue on directions. We might find out later, but right now we're just going on the book. So he played for 20 minutes. And Bill Mack's mother said he was very vulgar, that she didn't like that part of it. One of the entertainers here was little Joe Carlson, who I'm not familiar with. Also, according to the book, Elvis's Cadillac, he had left the headlights on and his battery ran down. Bill Mack had a new Pontiac, and Elvis asked him if he would give him a push to get it cranked, and Bill Mack's not my new car like that. So they waited around till an old man came in an old beat-up pickup truck, and he pushed Elvis to get him cranked to charge his battery up. And anyway, that's what they said happened here in 1955, August 22nd. We're going to go to town later on, and we might get some more information here. Might get an idea more of where the stadium was and where Elvis played. But right now, that's all we have to go on. We'll get a picture of the Spudder Park sign on the way out, and then we're going to head to another Elvis location here in a little bit. So this is the other side of Spudder Park. This is to the east of where we were sitting a while ago. So anything could have been here, but the trees were going by them, by the size of them, from 1955. So the trees are probably new also. Not really that big. We're heading downtown Wichita Falls right now. I'm going to check it out here in a minute. Got an old train locomotive over there. Old buildings, railroad tracks, lots of tracks here. Elvis played twice down here at the Auditorium. We're going to find in a little bit. And there's a lot of interesting history about where he played down here 2 different times, because things have completely changed with his popularity in between 55 and 56. We're going to go to the Memorial Auditorium here shortly and stop there. It'd be really neat if we could go inside of it, but that probably won't happen. Okay, we're here at Wichita Falls Memorial Auditorium. Elvis first played here January 19th, 1956. He'd come from the south and ended up playing in Austin the day before. And it says here they got in some really, really bad weather, ice and snow and whatever, and took 281, which is the highway that I grew up on, in Central Texas. Which in fact, if that's true, Elvis would have left Austin with Scotty and Bill and headed to Highway 281 from Highway 71, probably out of Austin, which they would have gone right through Hamilton, Texas, even at the towns that I'm familiar with, Stephenville, Mineral Wells, and all of that. This was actually Hank Snow's show the first time that Elvis played here, but the people actually came to hear Elvis, and Hank Snow wasn't popular at all. In fact, they booed at him on the stage, and of course Hank Snow was an old star, so he wasn't willing to accept that at all. And they actually, according to this, they were throwing pennies at him. The crowd booing off stage and throwing pennies at him like that was his pay. It was in pennies, a handful of them. Then other people started throwing pennies also. So this was also a Bill Mack show, and Colonel Tom Parker was at one of these shows, which I'll have to find out. It may be the second one. We don't know what's happening here with all the construction, whether they're going to fix this up. It'd be really, really nice if we could eventually go in it if we came back up to Wichita Falls. But right now there's a fence around it, keep out and all that. So we're stuck right here with all the dumpsters and construction stuff here right now. According to the book, Hank Snow was very, very mad, upset, and Tom Parker was here, that he cussed about Elvis and called him all kinds of names and wanted him fired. In other words, that he wasn't going to play with him anymore. Hank Snow actually, according to the book, said that he actually owned a part of Elvis as far as his earnings, that he was supposed to receive part of it, but he never saw a dime of it, according to the book here. And Bill Mack did play here. His band, Bill Mack, the fame of the radio disc jockey, who also wrote the song Blue that Leanne Rimes made a big hit out of, and also he wrote a song called Drinking Champagne. George Strait recorded it last. It was a hit. Cal Smith recorded it, and I really remember a Ray Price cut of it in the past. But Jimmy Rogers Snow, who's Hank's son, was really close to Elvis, or they were buddies or whatever, so that didn't go over too well with his daddy, evidently. But his father, Hank Snow, supposedly sued Tom Parker for equity over Elvis, but lost and didn't get anything out of it. The picture here at the top is Scotty Moore, supposedly playing here in 1956 January, and then Bill Mack and Bill Black also. There's a lady who had courtesy of these film photos here, is L.C. Medlin. So these are probably actual photos from the time. Okay, now part two here, when Elvis returned on April 9th, 1956, the same Memorial Auditorium. Elvis changed. He was the big star then. Hank Snow was nothing, of course, compared to Elvis, as he found out at the last show. This was also from Bill Mack, and there's also some pictures in the book here, courtesy of Carol Lloyd. Jay Thompson interviewed Elvis. He was actually from Breckenridge, a radio disc jockey, I believe, in Breckenridge, but he came and interviewed Elvis, and that's the one that you'll hear on YouTube or whatever. You can find it in a lot of places. April 9th, 1956 interview with Elvis and Jay Thompson. And there's the transcript of it here in the book, but we can't do it for copyright infringement. We can't actually read it and use that interview because of the copyright. But you can find it anywhere. Elvis was 21 years old at the time, asking what he did for a living before. He said he was driving a truck, and he was from Memphis, and he was also learning to be an electrician, and he went to Sun Records, of course, recorded That's All Right Mama, and mentions Louisiana Hayride also in the interview. the ticket price has completely changed according to the book, as Elvis wasn't getting paid a whole lot for his first appearance, but he did get paid more here because of bigger attendance. But by the second show, balcony seats were $1.25, main floor was $1.50, and children were 50 cents. So they probably made quite a bit of money on these shows here, especially the second one, since Elvis' popularity had skyrocketed from January to April. This is the side of the Memorial Auditorium. This is on the east, and we're going to see if we can get a back side of it here. And then also, because Elvis probably came in the back, probably got loaded in the back. So we're going to see if we can get the back side through all this construction mess. So this is the back side of the Memorial Auditorium. There's the back door. So that's probably where they parked and came in for the shows. heading to the Elvis store here in Wichita Falls. So got something going on here. We'll find out here in a minute. Farmer's market, okay. If we're gonna go there or not, my wife might want to check it out. So here we are, pulling in Elvis Always Gifts and Collectibles.
I'm Margaret Waller. I'm the proprietor of this Elvis store, and I love it, and I work in it just every day I can. And I've got lots of stuff, good stuff. And what else can I say? All right, I just love Elvis, and I love doing it. It's my hobby, more than making money. It's my hobby. Last concert, and then I got Taking Care of Business ring up there, and that's
Oh yeah.
the Queen's ring, only Lisa Marie's ring.
If I wore that ring, would you think?
There's the necklaces back there. See in that box?
Yeah.
I got Elvis bag, but it's not exactly like that, but it's a big bag.
That's a pretty one.
Boy, I could put anything in that thing.
Yeah.
I just loaded that thing down.
Yeah.
You know. I went on one Elvis cruise, but it wasn't Elvis. It was a impersonator cruise. We all went. I was in the club at the time, and we all went down.
So who's
down by Cozumel, down Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite Elvis impersonator? Any of them?
Greg Parker.
Greg Parker. We'll have to look him up.
I love Greg Parker.
Yeah.
I've got scarves of Greg Parker. He's been in here. In fact, I can show you. These are scarves he signed for me.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Greg Parker. Yeah. And this guy here, Mark Rio, was from...
I've heard him.
Yeah, he's from somewhere else. But he was in here. Greg Parker, there's Greg Parker. These are all Greg Parkers. You know, one time I can tell you a story about that. I went to see him when he was here at the theater. And he knows who I am. And I was standing down in front of I was behind the big fat lady. And you couldn't hardly see me, you know, because she's broader than I was.
Because you're little, yeah.
And anyway, she was standing down there, and he gets giving away scarves. You know, and I didn't get one, and they all left, but me, I was still standing there.
waiting for that scarf.
And he looked at me, and he said, "Well," I said, "Well, I'm waiting for a scarf." And I wouldn't leave without one. And I just stood there. He said, "Well, I guess I better give her a scarf, and she's not leaving." That was Greg Parker. I got a picture of him over here. He's signed for me. Here's another.
Yeah, movies we'll look at.
Here's movies.
We went.
All kinds
It's
of
got
books back
Elvis.
there.
I'm gonna check this one here out.
books everywhere. Regulars and Wednesdays, not a good day.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday need to be opened up.
People still start coming.
Y'all sign my guest book up on the desk.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
You're not gonna leave yet, I hope. Oh, shoot.
Everybody, we're here at the side of the old M-B Corral here in Wichita Falls, Texas. This was also a VFW at one time, but here's a picture of the one from the book here. This is actually now a biker bar, so I don't know if we're going to go in it or not, but I might talk to these bikers out here in the parking lot here in a minute. But this is where Elvis was double booked. April 25th, 1955. He was also booked in Seymour, where we covered that place already. But Elvis came here to play and found out he was also booked in Seymour. And he actually, according to the book, he called his mother from inside this bar, or corral at that time, M-B Corral. He called his mother for advice on what to do. Well, Elvis ended up taking off from here and heading to Seymour. Got about 12 miles out, ran out of gas. So they were stuck out on the highway trying to hitch a ride to get into Seymour, and some kids picked them up. Thought they were oddly dressed in their stage costumes or whatever. So they gave them a ride in to a Seymour. The Seymour booking was a benefit for the fire department. And Elvis got there very late, but he went ahead and played, I believe, for 40 minutes, it said in the book. Then they tried to take off. Well, by that time, the people were leaving from here. They did have somebody sitting in for Elvis, playing the same set of songs probably 2 or 3 times, covering for him, in the meantime for him to get back. So they played, however, late here. We got back too late where there's really nobody left, and all the kids, of course, had already had to go home by then. At Seymour, I forgot to mention that the kids that gave him the ride into town, he gave him autographed pictures, invited him backstage also. But when he got back here to the M-B Corral, it was too late and everybody was pretty much gone, and everybody was mad. Both sides were mad at him. Seymour crowd was mad at him. They were mad at him here also. And it was the last time that he had any business with TNT Promotions after that, for double booking him, and he may not have even gotten paid. He definitely, I believe it said he didn't get paid in Seymour, so we don't know if he got paid in here or not. But anyway, this is the place, M-B Corral, Wichita Falls, Texas. Okay, I'm inside the M-B Corral, and the stage is still there, surprisingly. So many famous people also played here. Originally started out the Millers Brothers band, who built this club for their own band, but over the years, other than Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Tina Turner, Bo Diddley, Chubby Checker, Fats Domino, Paul Revere and the Raiders, James Brown, Ray Price, Conway Twitty, Waylon Jennings, and even the old-timers like Ernest Tubb, Hank Thompson, and Bob Wills also played here. Elvis, I mentioned before, had called his mother, and we discovered that April 25th is also Gladys's birthday. So Elvis was not only calling for an advice, like it's written in the books, but due to Gladys's birthday, I'm sure he was sending his love to her and his family back in Memphis. Learned a little bit more about Seymour. that man named Gene Porter Robinson is credited with helping Elvis out, taking back to the car and getting the gas for him so the band could come into Seymour, also on April 25th, 1955.